Hey everybody, I'm Todd and I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to take a look at a couple of brand new 5.8 gigahertz wireless systems from Xvive. It's their U35 wireless mic system and the U45 wireless in-ear monitor system. Both the U35 and U45 are a similar design to their previous models, just now we're working in that 5.8 gigahertz range. Now in this review I'm going to walk you through the units themselves, we'll do some audio tests, also look at self-noise, and then I'll give you my final thoughts now that I've been working with them for a while. Xvive provided these for me to test, but this is not a sponsored review. Alright, now I'll start with the U35 wireless mic system, and as you can see it has the same form factor that we're used to from Xvive. We get here a transmitter that has a USB-C charging port on the side, so really good to see. Front there's a power switch. We also get a line and mic switch, so you can use this for a microphone, vocalist, or if you want to use it in line mode, that's really handy for say a DJ situation where you want to use say a pair of these running from a mixer to some powered speakers. You also of course get the ability to change your channel here. You've got 6 channels. They can be used concurrently. XLR input of course. Then going over to the receiver, simple, we got a power switch on the front. Again, we can change our channels here and we get our USB-C charging port on the side, XLR connection. Now it comes with a dual USB-C charging cable, so you're going to be able to charge both at once. I found you can absolutely charge them up to full in less than 2.5 hours, and you get the full 5 hours out of runtime that they suggest. So I'm glad they're conservative with those specs. Now you also get a TS to XLR adapter, so if you want to plug into a mixer where XLR is not available, it's going to do that for you as well. And a nice Xvive pouch to keep it all together. Now when I put this aside, I'll just move over to the U45 system. Now the 45, again, very much same design as the previous models. We get our transmitter here, again, USB-C connection on the side. They didn't put red trim on this. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent thing or if that's just the model I received for testing early, but I would have maybe liked to have seen them look the same. Nonetheless, I can see keeping this separate from the mic system with one not having a trim on it. Now you get a power switch on the front, then you get the line and the aux on here as well. And the idea is this works with line level signals and once again our ability to change channels on the front. Now the receiver is really the star of this package because this is a really robust heavy duty unit. Great belt clip. This is not going to come off no matter where you're running around the stage. So really nice to see that. Power switch on the top, 3.5mm jack here for our in-ear monitors, and then we get our control here that allows us to select our channels and also our volume control. Now you're going to need a set of in-ears like these U9s from Xvive, but you can use any in-ear monitors with these or headphones if you want to go with that too. So a lot of flexibility there as well. Now one of the things I really like about this system again is the concurrent 6 channels. So for example, if I want to run one transmitter on a channel with multiple receivers, I can send the same in-ear mix to multiple musicians. But I can also run multiple transmitters on different channels and send different monitor mixes to different people. So you can get a mix of all kinds of monitor mixes to different in-ears on a stage. You can build the system and expand it over time. And with it being 5.8 gigahertz, there's a lot less interference. So it's less likely you're going to need to use the channels to avoid interference, and more likely you can use them for multiple connections and expansion. Now I've set up an audio comparison so you can hear recordings made through a wired as well as wireless connection with the U35 and U45. I'll also put a graph up on the screen so you can see the frequency response.
You show me beauty in life. You put me first all the time. No wonder I'm on a high when I'm with you, oh yeah.
And now we'll go over to a mix situation. This would be more like we would use the U35 for a powered speaker where we're running it from a mixer, say in a DJ application. And now I'll do the comparison with the U45. Now we'll look at a self-noise test. This is the base level of my system, which is just a loop through my Antelope Orion 32 Plus Gen 3. You can see at the loudest point here, it's around -135. and it gets just lower than that, down at the very bottom, a couple little spots. This is my lighting controller popping up here in the middle. So that's kind of the baseline. Now I'll go ahead and I'll switch over to the U35 in the loop. Now I've added the U35 into the loop, and you can see here at the loudest point we're at minus 118, minus 117.9, and a couple little spikes here. My lighting controller, this is a 60 hertz over here, minus 125, 123. So again, this is higher than, of course, just the direct loop with a wired connection, but this is still a very, very low result here. This is going to be silent for all practical purposes. Now I've gone back to the baseline here. Again, this is a direct wired loop through the Antelope Orion 32 Plus Gen 3. Again, we're sitting right around minus 134, minus 135. And now I'll insert the U45 into the loop. Now I have the U45 in the loop. You can see here reading at about minus 122. This looks a little lower than the U35, but of course it's dependent on the output level that I have set up on the U45. I've done this here just so that I have a good listening level equivalent to what I would do when I'm recording headphones for headphone reviews. So this is going to be something that's absolutely usable for an in-ear monitor. Again here, very quiet. When there's silence, the person isn't going to be hearing a lot of hiss or anything through their in-ears. Now, I'm not going to read all the features and specifications for both systems. There'll be links in the description below so you can get all the details. But some of the things these units have in common is they're both 5.8 gigahertz true diversity systems, which means they have dual antennas, dual receivers, and a comparative circuit that actually will switch back and forth automatically to take the best signal available all the time. Now, that's in addition to 6 switchable channels that can be used concurrently. Now, these units are meant to work up to about 30 meters or 100 feet away. So you're not going to put, the receiver on a mixing board at the back of an arena and then end up having a transmitter on the stage. You need to have these close enough together to get a solid connection. And especially today with so many wireless devices everywhere, that's something you can kind of expect. Now, the latency here, they rated around 5 milliseconds. I measured it. It is about that. And that's completely reasonable, again, when you think of the distance away that might be from a wedge monitor on a stage or from an amplifier. There's nothing there that's going to be objectionable for most people. Frequency response, 20 to 20,000 hertz, and signal to noise and dynamic range of about 110 dB. So you're going to be able to get plenty of good signal above the noise floor. And I found in particular with the in-ear monitors, you didn't have to listen to hiss in your in-ears when there was silence. Now, I spent over a month working with these systems, and I'll give you my final thoughts. First of all, they moved to 5.8 gigahertz with these models to allow you a little more room from the congestion of the 2.4 gigahertz frequency range. So we want to avoid interference, have a more reliable connection. That combined with the twin diversity system, which means there are 2 receivers with 2 antennas and a comparative device inside that'll switch back and forth. So again, that's an added measure of protection. See that all the time in pro gear. It's nice to see it in prosumer level gear as well. Now, I found these units perform very reliably. No, you're not going to plug the unit into your mixing board 200 feet from the stage and then use this. You're going to need to bring the transmitter and the receiver both into the stage area. But beyond that, the signal quality is very good. I tested them also around some pretty active Wi-Fi access points, Ubiquity long-range units, and I found I wasn't getting any interference. And those are broadcasting on both the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz range. So it's good to see that, there's good compatibility and it's going to work in a congested Wi-Fi environment. Now, overall here, durability is what I expect from Xvive. The units are built basically the same as previous models that I've looked at. So I didn't notice any difference that way. The functionality, again, everything pretty much works the same way. So if you're looking for maybe a little upgrade over a 2.4 gigahertz system, you want something that's going to work in more congested environments, both of these are certainly worth looking at. Now, if you want to look at some other wireless gear, check out one of the videos on the screen. As always, of course, I appreciate you joining me. It's been great having you here, and I will see you next time.